This is Red Alvechurch Show with me, Josh Hamilton, Andy Simcott, Alan Smith and Tracy Martin. In this episode, we're going to speak about Barnsley Women's magnificent win at the weekend, as well as also the Reds are through into the second round of the FA Cup after a somewhat could have been a banana skin of a replay down at Horsham. Let's get into it. So, first off, before we get into the Horsham game, the women's team had a fantastic result at the weekend, Tracy.
They did. They went off to Wakefield. They were pretty close to them in the league. Wakefield AFC Women's, I should give them their full title, not to upset any other Wakefield team. And yeah, they had a really convincing win. I've spoke to a couple of the players and they basically said that without being too derogatory, Wakefield weren't great, didn't sort of turn up really. So although it was a convincing win and a big pat on the back for them, the opposition wasn't as strong as they expected them to be. And whether they had an off day or not, we'll probably see, because they have the return fixture, interestingly, on Sunday. How that's come up, I have no idea. They've only played 7 games. When you're playing 22, I don't have to 7 out. But anyway, that's how the fixture turned out. So they play them again at the weekend. So it'll be interesting to see the return fixture. But yeah, a really sort of convincing 4-0. Could have been a lot more. It probably should have been a lot more. Georgie Gregory had a massive impact. She had the first shot for the first goal that the keeper parried, and then Kirsty Nichols followed that in. Then she won the header for the second one. Georgie Gregory did, and Kirsty Nichols then finished that off. One-on-one with the keeper, slotted it past. And they're the 2 centre-forwards, so 2 centre-forwards linking up really well there. Third one, across, Georgie Gregory just volleyed it. Great finish. And the final one, again, Georgie Gregory, I've mentioned a lot, so ran through and again just slotted it in. But when I say slotted it in, she was just inside the 18-yard box, so it was a good finish. Having spoke about Georgie Gregory in every single goal, player of the match, 100%. You win 4-0 away from home. Georgie Gregory gets 2 assists, scores 2, and the player of the match has gone to Ashley Risdale-Harrison, who's the goalkeeper. So yeah,
I can't argue. Union there. Clean sheet.
Certainly didn't see that one coming, and I in fact, I've triple checked it because they announced that after the game. So I thought that can't be right. No disrespect to Ashley, but in the grand scheme of things. But anyway, but yeah, she obviously had a great game in the net. So yeah, as I said, they play at home on Sunday on the 3G at Oakwell. 2 o'clock kickoff is the plan, unless it changes, but keep an eye on social media for that. So yeah, they're sitting slap bang in the middle of the table now, so 6th, which is I think really fair. And you know, Jess Horsley, who's the manageress, should say manageress, not manager, is happy with that. You know, they came up last year, and it's not an easy league to come up to. The squad's now starting to fit together. I've had a lot. I've mentioned the last few shows that I've been on. I've had some new signings. They're now into the squad, playing very well. So yeah, it looks like things are starting to gel together. They've played 7, won 4, drawn 1, lost 2. So you know they're doing all right on 13 points. It's early in the season, but I'm gonna say they're going nowhere this season. They're not going up and they're not going down. And if I'm being honest, I think Jess would have taken that at the beginning of the season. So as long as they can build on the performances, it was always looking to next season to really do something, having come up. So yeah, it was a really, really good performance. And I think it's always difficult when you play a team that's not up to scratch. You can, as we saw against Horsham at home, it's quite easy to sometimes get a bit complacent and to drop your standards, but they didn't. They really continued to press, and like I say, 4-0 actually flattered Wakefield. It probably should have been a lot more.
It's good to see. Obviously, if you've mentioned there, the foundation's been built for next season, and it seems like, especially over the last few results, that everything's sort of starting to come together slowly but surely. You mentioned the new signings coming in over the last couple of weeks as well, and it seems like everything's slowly but surely coming together, which is nice to see. It's nice to see. And anyone who is free Sunday afternoon, 2 p.m, go down and give them your support as well. Obviously, the men's team hasn't got a game this weekend, so what else is there to do? You know,
I think you're absolutely right, Josh. Get yourselves down and watch Georgie Gregory's Barnsley FC women's team.
It's built on a solid GK foundation. Clean sheets only. Right, moving on to the FA Cup first round replay, sorry, against Horsham. Al, first, as Trace already mentioned, first round, not professional in the way in which we approached it as such. Got complacent, got sloppy, conceded 3 to a side in the 7th tier, which didn't bode well. But last night, much more professional, especially in that first half, which I think all the hard work we've done that first 10 minutes really weren't it?
It was, wasn't it? But we came out at blocks like we've been doing early on in the season, aren't we? We go for jugular in the first 20 minutes, and it paid off last night at Horsham. First goal, Adam Phillips, ball across, and Nicky Cadden. After 2-3 minutes straight in. So you don't front foot, aren't you? And then who pops up then is John McAtee. Another nice goal by assist by Aidan Marsh, who come back from York, which I thought he put a decent shift in. And that was 2-0 up. And then what about that ball from Williams over at top for McAtee to stop it? And then that deft touch and chip keeper. I mean, what more can you say about that? That was a class goal. It were easy after then, wasn't it? But second half, I think we sat back and they come at us more, and unlucky for them not to get a goal. Substitution were good when we saw Luca Connell his first start. That was a good point to see Luca in and start, and Jack Shepherd as well. So it moved what Andy says, Williams back to right wing back, which I think is his preferred position. And then who comes on then? Vimal Yoganathan, young 17-year-old. What a quality player is going to be. I mean, that cross, what he got over for Cosgrove, unbelievable. And he just seems to stroll and coast through a game. And what did he come on after about 60 minutes? So he had half an hour. But I want to see more of him. I do want to see more of him. And we're into it next round at Cup, and Sutton United, here we come on, I think, is it 2nd of December?
Weekend of, innit? I don't know if it's been confirmed whether we're playing Saturday, Sunday, is it yet?
I've seen Friday night.
Probably.
Sorry.
I think there, as you alluded to there, Al, Aidan Marsh having a strong game, Vimal Yoganathan coming on and really impacted and looking good. We've had Theo Chapman so far this season, Jack Shepherd. The future's looking bright, Tracy, isn't it, so far this season? From the bits we have seen, you got Jello as well in the first leg, obviously finding the top corner and looking bright throughout that game. I think the times in which these young players have been brought into side, they've shown that they're not just on the fringes of the first team. I think they are sort of pushing nicely like towards that first team rather than just been thrown 20 minutes here, and it's more like look, the Patter Academy were just like showing a gesture. It's actually they're coming on and impacting games, and there's no real loss of that rhythm.
Yeah, I think bringing Marsh back, it's interesting because I guess he could have had a bit of a mardy on, if you like, about that, because we don't know the circumstances of why he went out. I know it's for experience, but it must have been difficult when he'd played quite a few games and been on the bench and come on in the cup games. But I thought yesterday, particularly the first half, because I thought we were fantastic in the first half, took the foot off the pedal a bit in the second half, and to be fair, they came out and were much better. But his runs into the channels, especially, just helped us out so much, because it took, we've been always waiting for, he was playing more on the left, weren't he? But we've always been expecting Cadden to get down there. But by him running down into them channels, it just gave us that extra sort of space, if you like. And that was obviously the second goal, weren't it, that he crossed for McAtee. But I thought his running off the ball was exceptional. And it just meant that the centre halves, especially, weren't always looking to either play crab football or just to look to the wing backs. It was really nice to see that we weren't just oofing it in the hope that somebody might get a header. We were actually playing it down the channels, and he was running into that. So I was really impressed by that. And as for Yoganathan, well, his confidence is unbelievable. Like, I think, was it his first touch where he sort of did some amazing skill and turned the defender inside out?
Yeah,
it was just amazing. And then he put a couple of good crosses in. He put a cross in for Phillips as well, who should have buried it actually. But yeah, he is some quality. And bless him, he looks so young when he comes on the pitch. But then the minute he touches the ball, he's absolute class. Yeah, you're right. We've got some real good talent coming up, and I'm sure we'll look after them. We seem to be doing, and yeah, they deserve the starts. And I guess next week against Bradford, they'll get more time, and rightly so.
Yeah, I think it would be nice to see Andy much more professional in this game, and I think you could sort of see from more or less the three goals, the gulf in quality of a League One side to a seventh tier side, and the way obviously the touch and finish from McAtee for the third, the ball in from Phillips for the first, and also the ball in from Aidan Marsh for the second as well. It were almost that cutting edge difference that you'd expect to see sort of as the game goes on. And I think to start in that way, it was nice to see, especially off the back of that Derby result as well.
It was good to see that we could score from crosses. It's good to see that we can get crosses in. That would be a start, and it was. I don't take with this, it's a seventh tier thing against a third tier team, because they were a good side. They were a good side at Oakwell, and to be truthful, they were a good side last night. Apart from the few times when we just fought 3 times, particularly we cut them open. What I liked is that Neil Collins changed it. He changed things around a little bit. He put Jack Shepherd in, and what I wasn't expecting. I thought Jack Shepherd had fill in on the right hand side in the same way that Ethan Pinnett used to be on the right side, but he moved it about so that DG were on the right and Jack was in the middle. And I could, as the game went on, I could see why that, because DG could go forward with the ball with some purpose, which were good. I think Jack made a couple of I'd have called them hospital balls. He played a couple of passes to I think it was to Luke O'Connell a couple of times when he were heavily marked that were a bit. But that apart, I thought he had a really assured game. I love his distribution, short distribution, long distribution. I love his distribution. What I especially liked is that because of it, because Luca's back and because we moved Jordan back to right wing back, we had, if you like, the old combinations back. So on the left we had Cadden and Herbie Kane together as they were. Before being able to pass and link up well, and finally, on what we've considered, or I've considered, a weak right, we've had both Adam Phillips and Jordan Williams playing together like they did last season, and both benefited from their performance and the team as a whole, because we looked something else going forward down the right hand side, and defending on the right hand side, we looked a lot better than we've done in recent weeks. I know you can say it's the FA Cup. I know you can say it's against a non-league side, but we looked weak against them at home. So I think it was a good thing, and I'm really pleased for Jack Shepherd that he's got a game, because I thought he were desperately unlucky to not be picked after some really good performances. So what a thing, passes from the right side, some lovely, flipping, like Adam Phillips, a beautiful passer where the goalkeeper just managed to get a parry to it, but Nicky were there to put it in. And Aidan, if he played Aidan so he could have a look at him and see what he thought, he could only have been impressed with him, because Aidan, as Alan said and Tracy, I'm not going about it again, but he looked something else, full of running, full of pressing, the whole team pressed, full of pressing, whipped it in, and up put McAtee again at the back post. I mean, the commentators were saying, we didn't realise he was that good in the air. He's not supposed to be that good in the air. Well, he didn't dead it. It was his foot. But, the third goal was a thing of pure beauty. Adam Phillips, back to his best with his passing, clipped it. Not many people see passes like that. Clipped it through to him. Immediate control. What a chip. A magician to a magician, a goal. It was a thing of beauty.
I thought it was Williams.
It was Williams.
I also thought it was Williams.
It was Jordan Williams.
I'm not having that. He
It was
changed his
Williams
shirt.
who tipped it over. If you look back, it's Jordan Williams who.
I did.
Yeah.
Oh well, you must be right then. Sorry, Jordan. Sorry, Jordan. That's why you should be at right wing back, Jordan. Ignore what I've said, Adam Phillips. You're not that much of a magician then. I thought you were better than that. Thought you were better than that, Adam. Why didn't you do it, Adam? But yeah, Jordan Williams, so much assured because he can get down that wing, he can link up, and he gets the ball across. And it showed. We've not had a ball across, and from both sides we're getting crosses in. We're getting people on the end of it. It was lovely to see, and the pressing was nice to see. Second half, it doesn't surprise me that we took our foot off the gas. A bit of a shame, really, that we did. So I'd like us to continue going forward. But all credit to Horsham. They, Dom Gorham fired up at, after being knocked down with 2 very early goals in the first 10 minutes, and then, and then a third one. You could have had your duck knocked back good and properly, but it pulled them round at half time, and they went for it at half time, and they put themselves about, and they did really well. What did make me chuckle is that as the last match we had, the last match at home, we had one of their fans saying none of their players go down in the box, having a laugh. Well, there were a couple last night that went down trying. I can get another penalty. Sorry, Mark and Dom, they did go down and nobody touched them, but down they went. So that amused me. I thought he were going to get a penalty, but weren't even close to being a penalty. Unfortunately, he got a good view and got the decision right. But yeah, all in all, the professional performance.
And plus from last night was that both goals, first 2 goals, were at far post crosses, which we've not done all season, and we ain't got past first man, have we? So that's a bonus for me.
And that happened again when Keith came on. He couldn't beat first man again, could he? So I think, like you said, Andy, that's well, for me, it's 100% cemented Williams into that right side, because I thought he's going to come on now, and he still couldn't beat first man with his crosses. I
said, I've said a couple of times, certainly on the last show, that it's a sign of insanity just keeping doing the same thing over and over again, expecting something to be different. But we did something different, and if that doesn't show you, the pressing and who played where, particularly in the defence on the right hand side, where we're so unbelievably suspect for a number of matches. Well, any disrespect to the players that have played there, because they've got something, but at this minute we were looking really, really weak down the right hand side. I think I did a double take over Dom Allen on our show with him, because I said don't target our right hand side because we're much better. Don't watch the derby match. We're much better on the right hand side, and I were right. We were much.
And we made history last night, didn't we? First time we made history. First time we've won on a plastic pitch in 8 attempts.
It looked to start getting a bit frosty. There were a few players from both sides doing a little bit of slipping about as the cold air settled in. But yeah, it was good. The pitch was good.
It's a nice little setup they've got down there. I think that's a good point you raised there, Al, because it's one of them where it's a long way to go. It's a game that we didn't really need to have. It's on a 3G pitch. It's close.
Got 4 players on international duty.
Yeah, it's one of them where we can chuck a lot of excuse at that if we do lose. And it's nice to see that we actually came out and didn't do what Derby did yesterday. We chucked it away and lost 3-1 at Crewe. But it's nice to see that we went and did the professional job.
And they put out a strong side as well.
Mm.
Yeah,
we had to bounce back, didn't we? We had to bounce back. Yeah,
Derby's tweet was our best and worst game of the season within 3 days. I was like, that sounds familiar.
That's just how we've been playing as well. But as Andy's mentioned there, Tracy, credit to Horsham, because obviously in that second half they did come out and sort of, I mean, at that point they've got nothing to lose really, because what's the difference between 3-0 and 4-0 necessarily? And they gave it a good go. They had a couple of fairly decent opportunities, some forced errors on our side, and also some nice little passage of play from them moving forward as well.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen them twice and I can't say I've watched them any other time barring that. I mean, bless them, I didn't even know who they were, so I'm not going to pretend that I'm the number 1 fan, although I think now every Barnsley fan's their second favourite team. But yeah, do you know what? I thought the quality last night of them was really quite high. Yes, Andy.
Bloody army.
Like the touch, it's not easy. I know they train and they play on 3G, but considering the level that they're at, I thought the standard of their play was very good, and they do try and play football. They had some real passages, especially in the second half, where they were good. And I was thinking to myself, why are you playing in this division? I've seen some League One teams that haven't been as good as that this season. So yeah, complete fair play to the club. Everything about them. They've been great, obviously, with us. So accommodating. Now, everybody that I know that went there yesterday said what a great club they are, how friendly they were. They left us some lad, didn't they, on the top of the dugout, which was really, really good of them. Is it Adjakai? I thought he was quite unfortunate not to score, really, because he's an handful. He's run us he's given us a tough 2 games, I think. So he looked good. For us, I think the only thing I'd want to say is that Cosgrove, that he needs to get a goal, because I don't know how he missed. I think it was the second one where he just put it wide, and it was like, and I just think he's desperate for a goal. We're desperate for him to get a goal because his confidence looks a bit down. Obviously, he got the sending off, which won't have helped. And I just think last night was the perfect opportunity for him to come on. And it weren't his performance, because I thought he did quite well, but he just needs a goal. I was hoping it'd just bounce off his bum or something and just go in, because that's the sort of thing he needs. He just needs to get a goal. But it was a good performance. But no, Horsham, like I say, I think every Barnsley fan's second favourite team now. So yeah, come on the laddie army.
Yeah, I think leading on from that as well, Andy. I think you've got an email from Mark, the club historian.
Mark Wells, yeah, I got an email from him after he got. I hope he don't mind. I don't suppose he will. I hope he don't mind me reading it out. If he does, don't sue me, Mark. Don't sue me. Just say it's an old fool that doesn't know any better. This is what Mark tweeted or emailed to me. It's a fair length, but I think it's lovely, and it sums up the club and the fans and everything to do with Horsham Football Club. So that's why I want to read it. I think this is what he said. I think we saw the golfing class tonight, or certainly in the first half. And the last thing we needed to do against a side of Barnsley's calibre was to concede early, which we so obviously did. That said, I was incredibly proud of the spirit, commitment and desire that we showed in the second half. And I'm just so disappointed for the fans that we weren't able to score a goal. It was a fantastic occasion, and I hear that both set of supporters were mixing in the pubs before the game. Yeah, and even heard your fans singing their own version of Lardy Army during the first half. Dread to think what that is. Mardy Army? I don't know. Lardy Army anyway. Who knows? All in all, a wonderful evening, and we wish you all the very best in the next round against Sutton. This has been an incredible last couple of weeks, including appearing on your podcast. That's me and you, Al. He's talking to me and you now, Al. And it has enabled us to put the club on the map. Our thanks go to you, Al, and all the Barnsley supporters for your warmth and support since the draw was made. And forget that you may have a new non-league team to follow. I think we have a new League One team to follow. So it's mutual.
And I've got one from Lardy Army, what come on from Richard. Credit to your team, as they certainly turned up, and credit your fans who were excellent on the night before and in the pubs and town, and for applauding our players off at the end. Class. Pure class.
Lovely.
You got one to read out, Tracy?
No, but I'm going to cry. I feel like it's the opposite.
Love.
What made me laugh with Horsham fans with that flag. It's just like watching.
Flag. I like their flag that says flag.
Yeah, that's my favourite flag.
That is my favourite. Yeah,
it's a good flag.
Did you hear I watched it on ITV4. Did you hear the story about one of my favourite players of theirs, Jack Strange? See the story of him?
Oh yeah, I did actually.
Oh, I'll just dead briefly. I can't remember which team he was playing, but he was during the match. He was absolutely desperate to go to the toilet. Absolutely couldn't wait. So legged off to have a wee, basically. Come back on. The referee who'd already booked him again for leaving the field of play and sent him off. What? What? Have a bit of common sense. What was the alternative for him? Give him a break. But it made me chuckle no end. Made me chuckle. But Jack, you made me laugh, Jack.
I've ever heard. I think the only other thing to speak about, Andy, is probably a mini prediction league.
Well,
update,
I can tell you.
reckon.
It's turning into Beardsall. It's turning into Beardsall, Andy.
I just wondered if anyone got correct result. That's all for Horsham game, and then just how that's impacted the mini league. No one bothered about the big league, the main league. That's
you don't want the big league then.
No,
well,
the big league. I mean, Tony Carlson's 6 points clear.
No, he is. He is. Well, let me tell you this: there were a drop, as there sometimes is when we play rubbish like we did against Derby. There were only 59 predictions for this match. 47 for a Barnsley win. This is Horsham away. 4 for a draw, and 8 for a defeat. But there were 6 people that got 3-0.
Oh, well done to them.
Oh, who could they be?
There were B. Ryan Decorators, Brendan Ryan, he got it, he did it. Andy W. all the way from Leeds. Tony Carlson all the way from Sweden. Richard Gomersall, Aronian Jackson from Barnsley. And last but not least, all the way from Lancashire, Manchester, Lancashire, Josh Atherton.
I think that's my first correct one at season. It's only took about 18 games.
And what makes it even more painful? Oh, so painful. In the second mini competition, mini comp 2, there are, let me get this right, 1, 2, 3, 4 people on 5 points. So it's really is all to play for, because we got John Connolly on 5, Ian Jackson on 5, who got it right, Smokey on 5, and then up from nowhere, because he got one prediction right last night, Josh Atherton sits proudly at the top of the table, although they're all equal first.
I'm probably top on goal difference.
Alphabet.
Yeah,
Alphabet.
Atherton puts me top easy.
Alphabet, it's a sad thing. Andy Laycock, Tony Carlson, Andy W, Tracy Martin, Peter Waddle, Waddell, Michael Hodgson, Brendan Ryan, Keith Haig, Richard Gomersall, Tim Durkin, all on 4 points. And then there's a lot of people on 3 points.
I'm coming after you, Josh. I'm coming after you.
I've got to make Mercy. After this Bradford game, I'll be back.
And I'm strongest in league because I'm at foot.
And what I will tell you, I'll not go on about the like you've said, that Tony's 6 points clear at the top of the season league, but not that far behind. Well, I suppose he is. He's in fourth place. We've got Craig. So Tony's on 25 points. Craig's on 16 points. Noah, my grandson's on 16 points. You know, so there's a few things there, and then we come down a little bit. I'm on 13 points. Josh Atherton's on 12 points. 8 points. Smudger Smith, 8 points. 8 points. I can't get my breath.
It's not the start, Mr. Andy. It's not the start.
Grace on 16 points as well.
It's not the start, it's where you finish. It's not the start, it's where you finish.
Alan, if you stuck with your result from Horsham, what you said on the podcast, and then you didn't do a sneaky change, you'd have got 3 for that, wouldn't you?
I think I might have mentioned that he were a charlatan.
Yes, you did. To
both Dominic and to Mark. A charlatan. Yeah. I mean, who does that, Tracy? It's 1-1. Well, as soon as they've gone, change that to 4-1 to Barnsley.
I think you did that, Mr. Simcox. Come on, you did that. I'm following in your footsteps.
I can't. You know, I'm ashamed, Alan. Ashamed of you. It gave me a good laugh, Alan, when you did it. Made me laugh. No, well, just so you know, Alan, just so you know, you're 17. We're off a third into. You're 17 points behind Tony Carlson. So you're going to have to get a few right and Tony get them completely wrong for you to get a shot.
When we get his new sign, is it January window? Trust me, it'll come good.
8 points, Alan.
Got to come very good.
You're as good. You are the embodiment of fanatics, Alan. You rubbish. Shambles Smith.
Right.
Anyway,
I think that just about wraps us up, doesn't it? There's not too much to discuss.
Well done to the lads. Well done to our lads.
You're losing that.
Andy, it's not like mine. Yours just keeps fading into oblivion.
I know. Well, they did last night. Only joking, Mark and Dom. Only joking.
We're going to have to wrap this up as well because your internet's probably due 5 minutes. It's been consistent for half hour, so it's probably due at least 5 or 10. So we'll be back at the weekend with Bradford City in the Bristol Street Motors, not Papa John's Trophy. Unfortunately,
Johnson's Paid Trophy.
Whatever you want to call it.
Andy, you don't need a pizza. Now then, you don't need a pizza as a background. You need a car showroom as a background.
Laddie Army ain't back here, Alan.
And we'll be back at the weekend with a preview of the Bradford game. You Reds.
You Reds.
Laddie Army.